I thank the Noble Baroness Lady Evans of Bowes Park for securing this debate on the achievements of free schools and academies, although that's not the noun I would use. Our debate already has, and I suspect largely will, focus on exam results. My focus is broader, for I and the Green Party collectively do not think that education should be for exams or focus primarily on future employment, but should provide life skills, particularly an interest and capacity for lifelong learning, allow for the development of innate interests and talents, the blossoming of body and mind that provides the foundation for a decent, healthy life for each and every child and young person, and that schools should be at the centre of an active, lively, flourishing community, not the cause of massive traffic jams as parents cross the city back and forth to hunt the quote-unquote best school. The creation and often forcible spread of free schools and academies, particularly chains, now more than 80% of secondary schools in England and heading towards half of primaries, has actively worked against schools meeting those goals. They have been set to compete against each other for exam results, to outdo each other with the appearance and actuality of harsh and punitive discipline, particularly in poorer communities. Competition that encourages them to expel or shuffle out pupils who do not fit the brand. So how might we judge that cross-party consensus of the past 25 years? Well, one league table. The Children's Society offers us a crucial, important and deeply disturbing tool, its annual study of 15-year-olds across 27 nations, on which the UK ranks bottom. Last year, 25% of UK 15-year-olds reported low life satisfaction, compared to 7% of Dutch children of the same age. Low levels of life satisfaction were at least twice as high among UK 15-year-olds compared to their peers in Finland, Denmark, Romania, Portugal, Croatia and Hungary. My lords, that makes my blood boil. Blame for the unhappiness and the mental health crisis that the Financial Times highlights today, with figures on mental health admissions to general medical wards, reflecting what one expert described as a population-level increase in mental health conditions, is often put on the rise of social media or on concern about the future linked to the climate emergency and nature crisis. And those are factors, but they have smartphones and the climate crisis in those comparable countries too. And what about physical health? Well, 19% of children aged between 11 and 15 are obese, and less than half of our children and young people are meeting recommendations for daily physical activity, 60 minutes. 30% did less than 30 minutes a day. And education about life skills, such as first aid, cooking and nutrition, food growing, financial literacy, and indeed the enjoyment of reading for pleasure, which your Lordship's House discussed earlier today. Well, we all know they are sadly lacking. The FT's Christmas campaign was directed at providing financial education. And what about, even worse, those who are forced out because they do not fit in? The figures from the autumn term 23-24 are horrifying. Nearly 350,000 suspensions, a rate of 413 suspensions per 10,000 pupils. The rate of expulsions is up to 4,200 children in one term permanently excluded, up from 3,100 the previous year. And those are the formal figures. I hear, travelling around the country, many reports of informal exclusions. Parents, often of children with special educational needs, being encouraged, suggested strongly that they take the homeschooling route, much against their will. And then there's attendance. There's a focus on the 150,000 severely absent children, missing 50% or more of school sessions in the last year. That's tended to look at individuals and their families. But why is school not an attractive, welcoming, nurturing place, but rather, particularly for vulnerable pupils, one to be dodged at almost to all costs? Two final comments. My words are not intended in any way to be a criticism of some 500,000 teachers and other school professionals, the vast majority of whom I know, from regular school visits, do their best to provide a rounded education, a healthy, caring environment, all too often in opposition to government policies and institutional structures imposed on them, and in the face of grossly inadequate funding. And I acknowledge there are many other aspects of British society that impact badly on young people's lives. But many of the young people I talk to tell me school is something that harmed them, that they survived if they indeed did struggle through the experience. They endured waiting to escape. That is not what schools should be. Yet the academisation and expansion of free schools competing against each other, delivering large profits to private providers of goods and services and high pay to fat cat bosses, is, together with the central ideology of exam factories, fundamentally failing our young people.
Thank you.